Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague, and with me, like always, is my super co-host. Have I used that one yet? I don't care. Noah Bailey. So we have we have a lot of DC stuff to talk about this week, starting with our review of the recent animated Death of Superman movie. And spoilers, if you care about spoilers for the Death of Superman movie, just throwing that out there. Um, like, like it was one of the funniest things how like the movie starts like very, Superman like is very heroic at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then like he's standing there taking that picture. Cut to the title card, Death of Superman. It's like, oh, right, we're watching that movie. Spoilers,
Well,
if like
that's
it's
great.
okay,
Like,
citizens, I'm here. Death of Superman. Uh, I just found that funny.
oh man,
So, just generally speaking, what are your thoughts about this movie?
it wasn't that bad. I admit, the universe it takes place. This is the same one that they had, like the Justice League War, Throne of
Mm,
Atlantis. Even like the Batman movies they had come in. So
yeah.
it's like that same universe. And I haven't been like a huge fan of that Justice League, but it's
Yeah.
like okay, I guess. Like
Mm.
it's the worst.
It's not
You
bad. It's better than what
know,
we have in live action, so I mean, you can't really complain.
True. And at least it's kind of comic accurate. Like the thing I don't like is this Superman's kind of like the movies Superman, like kind of like the
Mm,
Man of Steel Superman. He's very like, I'm up far above these people in terms like he
yeah.
feels so alienated.
Mm,
And I kind of have the same problem with that because Superman was born on a farm, lived here all his life. Like he feels like a human who can also just, bend steel with his bare hands. Like
yeah. Yeah, like that was one, not like problem, but kind of thing I noticed with this movie was that like we've been thoroughly introduced to Batman in this universe. He was somewhat the focus point of Justice League War. I think at least two of the Batman movies took
oh
place
yeah.
before that one. We've had like three others since then. Both Teen Titans movies focus more so on Damian than anyone else, and by extension, Nightwing and the rest of the Bat family. Um, so we've been thoroughly introduced to Batman. Oh, also he was also a focus point of the Justice League Dark movie. So like
Oh yeah,
we've had a lot of Batman in this animated universe, but really no one else. And I kind of realized it wasn't nearly as egregious as it was for Batman versus Superman. We're comparing it that a lot, by the way. I've just a
yeah.
feeling, um, but like I feel like this movie would have been just a little bit stronger had we had just another animated Superman movie or just Justice League movie period that focus a little more on Superman and his normal everyday life. That way you feel more of the weight when like he has to talk to Lois about his secret identity, or you see people at his funeral, or like you just feel more weight when he actually dies. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a problem, but it's something that could have made the movie even that much more stronger if they did have one or two other movies focusing more on him over the past 4 or 5 years, however long this universe has been going on.
I agree because, like, with Superman, you kind of feel like a bystander with Superman because it's like
Mm-hmm.
we know Superman as a character, but not this specific character. We've kind of just been like, we kind of just showed up and the movie just told us stuff. Like,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, Superman, or not Superman, Clark Kent and Lois Lane have like a secret relationship. Like, that's just thrown it. Like, there's no build up. That just kind of
Mm-hmm.
happened. And you just also, oh, by the way, he's not dating Wonder Woman anymore, which was, I always thought, I didn't never really
I
like
never
that
like yeah, never
anyway.
liked it
But
anyway. Which
just
like
throwing. It's just like we're not progressing with it. It's kind of just
mm,
thrown. This is what's happening because we don't keep up with Superman in this universe. I know more about Aquaman in this universe than
yeah,
Superman
which is kind of
because
sad.
so it's like I don't know anything about Superman other than he's Superman. That's pretty much it.
I guess I guess the mindset they were going for, and like I would say it worked way better in the animated universe where they actually kind of resemble the comics more so than they do their live action counterpart. They assume you've read a comic before. Like they just kind of in every single instance where the Justice League is introduced outside of Justice League War, they're always is like right in the middle of fighting their biggest bad guy. I think at the beginning of JL versus Teen Titans, the beginning of it was them fighting the Injustice League. Like
Right.
they just assume you know all these characters. They just assume you know who Lois Lane is. They just assume you know, they just assume you know the world of Metropolis. And like, yeah, we do. And if you're seeking out the Death of Superman movie, you probably have read a comic or two. But like, as far as the movie itself, it would have helped to have a little more, I don't know, backstory, so you feel more weight within this movie itself. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate them not teaching us like children and not explaining everything like some people do that, but I feel like they could have. There's definitely a middle ground there that it didn't just that they missed just a little bit. They could have had just a little more in there.
And I think, I mean, that's something they're trying still to gauge, I think, in this universe, because, like we
Mm,
said, they haven't really done much focusing on just Superman lately. So,
yeah,
like, I think maybe, like, with his death and, like, the next year, they're supposed to be doing a Return of the Supermen
mm-hmm.
movie, which is, like, that whole thing with the whole,
Cyborg,
like,
Superman,
make,
Superboy. There's others. Those twins, I
yeah,
think. There's
yeah,
a bunch of them.
like, coming back. So, that, I mean, we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. I mean, that'll be interesting. So, we'll see. They'll build off
Mm,
more on Superman through that, which I think is good because I think it's important to build off all your strong characters.
yeah.
Not no offense, Aquaman, but I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
he's not exactly a pillar of the DC universe as we know it.
Superman would get his own movie for Aquaman, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Which like
hmm?
that's one problem I have with this universe as a whole. Like I said, we've gotten like 5 Batman movies. And like I love Batman, but like
Chill.
chill, please. These Bat movies aren't even all that good since most of them focus on Damian anyway, and I hate that kid. So like we've gotten no Flash movie unless you kind of count Reverse Flash, which is or sorry, not Flashpoint, which is like technically connected to this universe. We have no Wonder Woman movie, no Green Lantern Corps movie. Like none of these characters are established outside of the Justice League movies, except for Batman. And even like within the Justice League movies, Batman seems to be more of a focus point than like any of the others anyway. So it's just a little weird how they structured this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Better, like I
Uh,
said, better than the movies, like live action movies so far, but still, there's
and
there's need for
like, I just
improvement.
feel like if they spent more time, focusing, because I mean, there have been DC anime movies in the past that go into individual characters. I mean, there's two really underrated Green Lantern movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Flashpoint Paradox movie, which is really good. And there's like, it's just, there's more they should build up. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you have to do all of that before Death of Superman. I'm just saying I feel like if you're going to do the most important storylines of characters, you have
Mm-hmm.
to have more of them established. You can't
Yeah.
just the reason those storylines work so well is because of how
Mm-hmm.
much we already have into these characters.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite, not might not be top 10 material, but like it's not even like a guilty pleasure, but it's one like if people like, hey, so what are some of your favorite DC anime movies? This is one I'll list. Batman and Superman: Public Enemies is one of is up there because they it doesn't it doesn't really feel like a problem in this movie where they just kind of assume you've read the comics or they assume you've watched any of the Justice League cartoon or the Batman or Superman cartoon because the voice actors are the same, so it feels like it's in the same universe. They
Mhm.
don't really need to explain anything because hey, you've read a comic before, you've seen all these things with these specific characters with these same voices in them before. We just want to have a story with these two characters, going rogue or whatever. Like, and I feel like it worked very well in that.
Mhm.
Whereas here, when you have no real backstory to this specific Superman, not even in really in the previous movies or other lore within this animated universe, it's not nearly as strong as something like that.
I agree. Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's just neat. They just need to build up more of it too. But I mean, I guess that's what they're kind of trying to do. I think they're just going for the wrong movie out the gate. But I mean, because I feel like like we've seen Lex Luthor in this universe a little
Mm.
bit at the beginning of that Justice League versus Titans or Titans versus
Yeah,
Justice. I don't know which is
it
first, but
was
I
Jail
mean,
versus Titans.
like like we saw a little bit. Like I feel like they expanded more on Lex Luthor some. He's obviously a really strong villain in this universe. Like, why
Yeah.
not?
Oh, I loved Lex Luthor in this movie. Like he was a straight savage. Every single word that came out of his mouth was belittling somebody, and it was awesome. Like one
Like,
of my favorite
and
lines.
you need that, dude, because it's been so long since Lex Luthor has been that much of a boss, dude. Like, it's been a while,
The one we got in live action isn't anywhere close to that,
right?
so it's refreshing. I kind of wish his voice was just a little bit deeper. Like James Wood is an amazing actor. I mean, see a little about him personally, but like as far as acting goes,
Yeah.
I like his acting style. Not necessarily personal, I like his acting style. But and he's really good at playing villains. But as far as playing Lex Luthor, I feel you need someone with just slightly deeper and more like menacing, like demanding villain. Not James Wood is more good at playing more like conniving and like already established like super villain,
Hmm.
like that level of villain where he's more of an imposing force that I don't know, like you almost kind of respect in a way. I just don't not really sure if that specific voice really captures that, but still, as far as everything that he said, I really enjoyed. One of my favorite lines was, "Finally, someone understands what's going on around here. Unfortunately, it's not you."
I do remember that was funny because he said like he said it, and I immediately like just paused and laughed. I was like, "Oh my god, what?" You miss stuff like that. It's
Mm,
like because like I mean, there's three Lex Luthors that I really like. There's
mm.
the Justice like anime Justice League universe.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, the All Star like in all you seen All Star
Mm.
Superman?
I It's been a while, but I think I have seen it. Yeah.
Lex Luthor was really good because I really liked Lex Luthor in that movie. I also liked him more than Superman.
Mm.
And honestly, this one. And like I was like, yeah, like this. Oh, and the Young Justice Lex Luthor. I almost
Yes.
forgot.
Yes.
But yeah, though I mean that's what I mean that's Lex Luthor, dude. Like that's the character they get. I mean they get it right. It's like it's this like this cool, confident, extremely like I'm smarter than you, and here's
Mm-hmm.
why villain. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, everything outside of the voice, to an extent, like felt very imposing, very powerful. Like this is the guy who can go toe to toe with Superman, whether it be intellectually or physically. Like I would have loved to see a movie with him being the main villain of it at some point, but like I guess for some reason they chose not to do that, and that's fine, whatever. But still, I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I don't care. A million times better than Jesse Eisenberg.
very true. But what are you gonna do?
I
This
guess.
universe. But I mean, but we won't talk about that right now.
I might.
Because we will go for an hour about that again. So okay, but anyway, back to the movie. One part that I did not like about
Mhm.
this movie was kind of like the astronauts.
They
And
were very dead. Like every single line that came out of their mouth made them like 10 times more dead. Every single thing they said. One person, it was their last mission, their last time going into space. All of them, they were just about to go back to Earth. Like one
uh,
guy was like, "Superman will save us. I know he will." It's like every single thing they said. Like you're, if you weren't already going to die, every
you're dead
single thing you've
now.
said so
Like
far like reinsures that. Like,
I was like I mean, like you knew
reinforces
going
us.
in they were gonna like I wasn't like surprised. Like it was like okay, they're gonna die, but it was just how they died that annoying.
Hmm.
Especially the main astronaut dude was so annoying.
Yeah.
He's literally about to blow up. He's like, "Don't worry, Superman says." I'm like, "Dude, you can die, like right now. Like I don't care how fast Superman is. Like that's like running in front of traffic. Don't worry, Superman will save me. Like
I
so you're
mean,
just gonna stop trying?
yeah. I
What the
mean
fuck is that?
it's like the ship like couldn't, like the engines or something weren't working, so like they couldn't get the ship to move.
Like,
I'm like, just jump out. You're in a
yeah,
spacesuit. Someone will get you. Like, no big deal.
I think it was like that, and also like they were gonna hit some debris or something. So
Yeah.
like they were trying to do evasive maneuvers, but something went wrong, and then
Hmm.
the thing opened up. They all got sucked out, and then he dude's like, "Oh, don't worry, Superman's there," and he's like, "There's Superman." I'm like, "That's not," and the asteroid just destroys the
Yep.
whole thing. I was just like, "Bro,"
No. No. Yeah, I'll agree with that. That
I was just
it
like,
was a bit unnecessary to
"Yeah."
spend so much time with those people. They were probably just trying to fill the hour 20-minute mark. Like I can understand that, but like it never really explained why Superman didn't show up. I don't even think that was during the time he was at his parents' house. Maybe it was, and I misremembering, but like I don't think there was like a legitimate reason why Superman didn't show up,
You know,
which
it's
just
not like
makes
he
it
was
even
I
weirder
think
why he didn't. I don't know.
I think it's just like Superman's busy. Like Superman can't be at like I get it. The dude's faster than a speeding bullet and all that. But the
Hmm.
dude can't physically be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah.
Like while that's happening, an earthquake's going on in somewhere else, or a train's falling off a bridge. It's the DC universe. Something
Yeah.
somewhere is
Something
dying.
always
So
happening.
like, I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
Even if I'm Superman.
My question is, why is there still crime in Metropolis? Like, of all the places to try to rob a bank, why Metropolis? In any other city, you're gonna stand a better chance of not getting your butt handed to you. Like, there are some cities that don't even have a superhero protecting them. There are some where clearly, like a Green Lantern, they can't always be there because they're up in space doing whatever else. But when you're in Metropolis, you know Superman is going to be there. You know for a fact that he will stop you because that is his city. Like, why is there still people doing
I
anything bad in this city?
I mean, well, it's partially because of the whole like, the more upgrading you do, the more they do. Because like as you saw, like the bank robbers weren't just guys in masks with
Mm-hmm.
pistols. Like they actually had legit weapons that actually for a little bit messed up Superman. So
For
I
like
mean,
2 seconds.
like don't get me wrong, it's Superman. Like he handles business, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also like they're trying to match the other side, and that's just how life is.
Yeah.
Like it's like in The Dark Knight where he's like, we wear a bulletproof vest, they start wearing bullet piercing rounds. Like it never ends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean that's part of it, and also that's a comic book. Like if there's no crime, like what's the point? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you can say the same thing about Gotham City, especially when you've got like what Batman, like three Robins, Batgirl, Batwoman,
But even
Bat.
then, they can't be everywhere. Like Superman could literally be anywhere in a split in the snap. Whereas Batman, like, yes, he's pretty efficient at what he does, and like he's probably gonna get you, but like he can't always be there right as it's happening. He has
Yeah,
other rogue gallery people to deal with. I kind of the way I envision it in Gotham, like more bank robberies happen because Batman is focusing more on Joker or like
yeah,
Penguin or like a bigger crime boss or like other bank robbers and other petty crooks like get away with smaller stuff while he's dealing with
yeah. That's
bigger
probably
stuff. Whereas
true.
when you're in Metropolis, Superman can beat one thing, just zip another guy into jail instantly, like put him on fire, just like be everywhere at once, basically. So I don't really know why
Yeah,
you would even try anything.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's dumb to try anything against Superman, obviously, because I mean, it's unless you've got a kryptonite something, you
Mm,
might as well just give up.
yeah,
But or magic.
or magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's let's talk about this fight. How long would you say that fight was? Like half an hour, including everything, like with the Justice League and everything?
Wait, from the time for even are you talking about from the time Superman himself showed up,
Like
or like
with
just
like the beginning of the confrontation with Doomsday, like when
just like
like Green
the
Lantern and
whole
everyone else shows
like
up.
and everything? That was a long fight.
Yeah, and it was
Like,
like it it was good. Like it was really good. Like it was
I
action
like
paced the entire
that. This
time. You got to see like the unique abilities of each Justice League member. You actually got to see Wonder Woman like not almost beat him, but like do a good number to Doomsday. You got to see Flash do a like infinite mass punch with the mace, like it. Uh, uh, and then of course you have the not like well the coup de grace of Superman and Doomsday like fighting just all across Metropolis in space, like on that bridge. Just
Oh,
it
dude,
was
and
awesome.
the scene where Doomsday throws the car and Superman's like catching one car and holding
Mm,
back the other one, saving it.
yeah.
Like that was so epic, dude.
Mm.
I was like, oh god, go, go, go. He's like, I
And
don't know.
Doomsday
I
is
love.
like adapting the whole time. Like he shoots lasers, he gets the one blade that Lex Luthor had. Like they did that fight right, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It was really good, and also I really like how they had the other Justice League come in first,
Mm.
because other like Death of Superman movies, like Superman Doomsday, is like a 2007 one.
But I didn't
Like
really
it's,
like all that much.
I mean, it was good, but it was just Superman. This
Mm.
one was like, all right, guys, we're getting wasted.
Mm.
Where's Superman? like,
Yeah.
like that
like
thing destroyed every. Like it was crazy because like everybody's just getting whipped out there. You know, Aquaman's like, I got the tries to stab, dude, like
nope.
throws all Aquaman. Green Lantern gets knocked out. Like everyone's getting beat up, and then Superman shows up, and they're like, all right, like,
He
and
can
then one,
save us.
bro, this dude's legit. like I love that scene where one woman's just like, dude, like, guy is not real. The thing, it will destroy you. Like,
Yeah.
man.
And like, and I love how even like Batman, like he was trying so hard. He was like, and arguably he kind of like, not that he did the most outside of Wonder Woman and Superman, but like he actually did more than I thought he would. Like he actually at least did enough to uncover the majority of his face. So like, you know, he
He did.
he
I
held
mean,
his
he did a
own fairly
lot to
well.
like, and he also occupied it a long
Mm,
time, which is something because he's evasive. Because I mean, like, obviously he can't go toe to toe with Doomsday. He's gonna get
yeah.
stepped on. But I mean, like, he did a great job of just buying time and getting it away from other people, which is his whole objective the whole time. You
Yeah.
know, you can't beat him,
Yeah.
so
Buy time for Flash to just run around and get pedestrians out of the way.
get everyone out of there.
Mm,
Which there were, my thing is my whole problem with like movie like big time stuff like that is like I realize it takes a while to evacuate, but I mean you see this month like straight up, not even like I mean monster,
yeah. Nothing you have ever seen before.
like, straight up a monster, and you got the Justice League, like the whole Justice League
Mm-hmm.
getting wrecked simultaneously, and you why are you still here? Been in Mexico by now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, get out of there.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like,
Oh, and
like I would
you
like
know,
the army was still there, but like, dude, so why?
what are the police gonna do in any of these situations? Like, why do they ever show up anymore? What do they think they're gonna do?
I mean, it's their job. It's like, but I mean, at the same time, like, there's no preparing for that. Like, that's a monster.
In a situation like this, the police's job should be to call national security to drop a nuke on them. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Cause I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that didn't come up because I was thinking about like, are they just gonna like nuke this? Because like at this
Mm.
point, I could like see Superman just like throwing him into the nuke and then
Uh,
just taking it together.
kind of they did in BVS, but yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? And one thing I really did like about just the way the fight was structured, essentially it started with just Green Lantern and I think Flash. So like they got there first. And they like, we can handle this thing. And they both got beat. And then Hawkman showed up and then Batman showed up and then well, it cut to something else and then it cut back. Cyborg was already got beaten. Wonder Woman was already was already over there and like already like down for a second. He was currently fighting Martian Manhunter. Like every time it cut back, like more and more League members were just getting beaten off screen. I just like the way it had this like sense of urgency there. It's like you don't necessarily need to see what he's doing to them. You just know they're not gonna win this without Superman.
Like you don't need to know the detail. You just know it's bad.
Yeah.
Like we know.
Mm.
Like anytime all the league is that, because I mean even Mark, because like you got like Martian Manhunter, which is I love that addition finally. So, but
Yeah.
I mean like also it's just like all of these Justice League members are getting wrecked.
Mm.
dude, this is bad. Because especially up to this point, like the Justice League has been pretty strong in these movies.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, they've been like, I mean, they beat Darkseid,
it was
so
a
it's
kind
like,
of lame Dark
dude,
Side though. He's that's not. I don't know. I don't like New 52 Dark Side. He's kind of lame.
I know he like don't get me wrong, this Darkseid was lame, but I mean, it's still technically Darkseid, so that's
Yeah,
a big deal. And to have them all just get wrecked like that, I'm just like, dude, this is crazy.
yeah.
And I don't know, and then just and the fight with Superman was a really good fight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like there was one little thing where like throughout the whole movie it was kind of that cliche of, oh, I'm almost down, I'm about to punch you, and then someone comes in and like saves you. Oh, I'm almost down, Doomsday's about to punch you, Lex Luthor comes in and blasts him. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to be thrown against that wall, Superman comes in and saves you. Like that happens a lot during this fight alone. Like it's something that's like a cliche with superheroes in general, but like throughout the whole movie it happened like like maybe like two times too many, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'll accept it because that's just kind of how superheroes are. But like, and it didn't just diminish the fight.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about Lex Luthor's interaction with this fight, which I think is one very clever addition that you don't really see in any incarnation of the Death Superman.
Are you gonna? You want?
Oh, I was
Oh, are you want me to talk about it?
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, no, I don't care. I thought you brought it up, so I thought you were gonna say it. But yeah, but no, I mean, it's really good though, because like Lex Luthor, especially like I mean, this Lex Luthor I like a lot because of just like one, he's obviously he's like, look, I want to show the city that like I run this city. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is like like because Metropolis is his before Superman shows up, and then Superman kind of just like, oh, everyone loves Superman. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, what?
what, me? What about me?
Like yeah, he sees everything bad, but he's like, all right, now's my time to like take it back. And like for like 5 seconds, he's giving it
Yeah.
to Doomsday,
Like
and
you
then
think
Doomsday
like, wow,
immediately like
he's actually kind of holding his own against this thing. Wow, and then no, just no.
is Lex Luthor actually going to save the day? Like, I was honestly
Mm.
like, what? And then, Doomsday is like, okay, enough of that little robot man, and just like about kills him. And
Yeah.
then, Superman shows up again.
Mm.
But I don't know. I still like that Lex Luthor fight because, like, it's almost to the point where, like, you see them as like, you see them the first time for like they're fighting for the same goal. They both love Metropolis,
Yeah.
obviously for different
Just in
reasons.
very
Like,
different ways too. Yeah.
yeah, Superman just wants to save it. Lex Luthor wants to rule it, and he's in the thing. It's like, well, you can't rule a city that gets
Mm.
blown up or destroyed. So I mean,
Yeah.
you got to protect your kingdom. So he's trying to do it for that reason. But they're
Mm.
still working together, which I did like about this.
But at the same time, Lex Luthor isn't doing this to help Superman.
Right?
He's
He's doing
doing this to help himself, which again I feel is very clever. Like
their Lex
if
Luthor.
anyone else came in, there's, oh, I'm helping Superman take this guy down. No, Lex Luthor wants Superman dead, and he's just kind of assuming Superman will die after all this anyway. So he's like, Superman's gonna die anyway, so I need to be the one who takes the spotlight after this all happens. So like I just love that concept.
And I mean, it's just, I mean, that's the beauty of their relationship. A lot of people don't see because it's like, I mean, even like in all these concepts, like they're never helping each other directly. There's always
Mm.
ulterior motives,
Yeah,
but occasionally that brings them to do the same thing. In this
yeah,
case, save Metropolis from Doomsday, and
yeah.
that's like, it's almost like you almost you like the villain. And that's where you're like, I kind of get with Lex Luthor. I kind of
Mm.
sympathize with him for the first time. You're like, am I rooting for Lex Luthor right now? And you're like, yeah, I think I
Yeah,
am. Like, it's weird.
yeah. Like at the end of the Justice League cartoon, like Lex Luthor, the
Ah,
only reason he came to the Justice League is because Darkseid showed up. Like he hates these. Like he was reforming the Legion of Doom as we speak. But like because Darkseid showed up when he thought Brainiac would, is like, oh, I was trying to, I was trying to bring my, not like a friend, but like, I'm trying to bring that guy back.
kind of.
This scary guy is back. And I need your help.
Yeah,
We have a
like
problem. Can I need your help?
love the line where like in the last episode they get there, he's like, look, let's get one thing straight. I'm not here to help you. You're here
Yeah.
to help me get dark side.
Uh,
Like the world is blowing up. He doesn't care at all. He's like, look, this is about me. I don't
mm.
care about your stupid planet. This is about me getting revenge. I'm like, dude, there's about to be no world and you're still petty. Like, what are you doing?
Well, he needs a world to rule, so like,
Not care. He just like there's no care. He just like does not care. It's
mhm.
great.
Yeah.
Like
And
in
also,
the world, nothing matters
I
except
love
him.
how like I kind of wish we'd actually seen more of this, but I love how in the world of this Death Superman movie, Lex Luthor is a convicted criminal. He had an ankle monitor on, yet the mayor still spoke of him so highly at the funeral. Like this guy clearly is a criminal, yet because he did this one good thing, all of a sudden he has your respect now.
Yeah, and
I
I
thought
mean
that kind
that does kind of odd, but at the same time, I think it's more because of like one because of his contribution to the vast that are for the good of humanity, and
sure,
also because like it's like you also I mean when a monster's destroying your city, pretty much anyone that helps out's a hero. So I mean,
true,
and I think it's kind of similar to like how like in real life, you have people that do great things, but then like their real life comes out and they're not great people, but you
hmm
still commend them. Like okay, like for example, like Michael Jackson.
yeah,
Everyone still loves Michael Jackson singer. Michael Jackson the person, not that great. Michael
yeah,
Jackson as an entertainer, as an artist, still one of the best. And
yeah.
people remember him more as the former
hmm
he had a more impact that way. And I think that's kind of how they see Lex Luthor, just because he's,
Yeah.
he's a philanthropist. He pretty much built Metropolis. He's a great, he's before Superman showed up, Metropolis's favorite son. So I mean,
hmm
that's kind of it.
In in that way, it's actually kind of fitting that he's voiced by James Woods, because like as a person, James Woods can be kind of iffy if you know
Right.
anything like about him as a whole. He can be iffy, but like still, I respect his work. Same thing with
Right.
like Luthor as a person. He's not that great, but he still at least helped, gave Superman the time to at
Right.
least rest a little bit. So like it kind of works there.
Even if his intentions were flawed, I mean, he did try to save Metropolis. So I mean, you
Yeah.
got to throw him a bone, I guess.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
Oh, and I just well, maybe one last thing about the fight. I just love how like every single aspect about this fight essentially was the last I don't know 5 7 minutes of BVS, but like 6 million times better. They both flew up into space. It ended with Superman and Doomsday clashing, and they both getting or Superman. Well, in this version, Superman like snapping his neck, but and Doomsday impaling him. And like there was a bunch of other beats that like felt very very similar to the Doomsday fight in Batman vs Superman, just done extremely better. And like I just could not stop thinking about just how much better the live action universe could have been had we had a whole movie dedicated to just
That's the Superman.
Superman
Yeah.
versus Doomsday in live action. Like, now, granted, in my humble opinion, with stuff like this, animation will always be superior just in the way certain things can be framed. Just in general, or animation allows you to do more with fight scenes in particular. But like, still, a live action, real Superman versus Doomsday would have been epic,
Yeah.
but we just didn't get it right in any capacity. That was your one chance to do it. It really bugs me.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. And it's like, it's just, especially when you see like, like all, like, it's just like how good it was. Like, it was set up the right
Mm,
way. It was like, because I mean, the storyline, you don't really need much of a storyline in like,
yeah,
a Death of Superman movie. It's pretty much monster shows up, Superman destroys monster, but monster also destroys Superman. Like,
yeah,
it's very simple. You don't have to do a lot to it. It's mainly the focus of the whole movie is the fights.
yeah.
And because of that, the fights in this movie are excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, like, because they focus on the right things. And that's kind of, I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing. This fight, it's about the weight of Superman dying, but it's also about the way it happens. If this
Mm-hmm.
was just fight was 5 seconds and, they both just, like,
No one would care. But
yeah,
just
it's like,
that final scene of Superman like seeing Lois almost almost getting flattened, and just him like getting up like roaring, the earth like shatters around him, and then him like zooming forward and just one last punch. Just oh, that shot was just so meaningful.
right?
And again, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna compare it to that same similar scene in BVS. It just has no meaning because the movie wasn't about this.
Mhm.
Arguably, the movie wasn't even about the title of the movie itself. Like, since we couldn't dedicate time to really understand why this is happening, there was no impact to when Superman actually died. Whereas in the Death Superman animated one, like you really felt that like this was a real struggle for everyone involved, especially Superman. So yeah, it was just done so much better than the live action one.
It's so good, dude. And like, I think also one thing is like, just I know I said earlier that Superman wasn't like, it still kind of had that like alien concept
Mm-hmm.
among people, but it felt like as the movie went on, he kind of felt more human,
Mm-hmm.
which which was interesting because at first I was like, I'm not gonna feel anything for him if he has this concept, but like as he's like like when they're at the table, he's like talking about like Barry and Iris was supposedly getting married, and he's like, "Did you tell her?" He's like, "Dude, bring it up on the honeymoon." Scenes like that, kind of bring more human to Superman. So
Yeah.
like as that went on, like by the time he's actually fighting Darkseid or not Darkseid,
Doomsday.
Doomsday, I always get those mixed up.
Yeah, same.
But by starting Doomsday, it's like it feels more like the Superman you're used to, and you feel more weight of it because it's like this guy, he's one of us. He's from here. He
Yeah.
sees the value of life, and he's not going to let some little girl get, demolished by a monster because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hero. It's what I do.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can find this movie, I highly recommend watching it. Like, especially if you've been, you don't even really need to be following the DC New 52 movies so far. Like, if you just want to watch this movie on its own, that's fine. Like, I think the only one I've seen is Throne of Atlantis and Just Like Ward. Even then, like, as long
You
as you've read a comic book before, you'll be fine.
Pretty much everything is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, there's no like storylines that branch off from out there. Like the only thing that like kind of reminisces from the past is like the one scene with Wonder Woman and Superman. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, many people just kind of like if you don't really know anything about Superman, like it's kind of a common, I guess, misconception that like him and Wonder Woman are a thing anyway. So like that's just them explaining that they were a thing. Now they're not.
Right.
Just yeah,
Yeah, it's really like, it's not that much. Like
yeah,
the movie itself, you don't have to know. I mean, just know who the Justice League is and what Doomsday is, and you'll be fine.
yeah. Okay, so moving on to some other, like I said, WBDC news. Apparently, Tom Cruise is is in the running to play Hal Jordan. Apparently, he's their first pick.
How do you feel about this? I want to
I
know because you
don't
you have
like
this look on
this.
your
I don't
face.
like Tom Cruise really all that much, especially
Really?
since he's like almost 50 years old. It's just
You're old.
I don't know. Also, I don't really like Hal Jordan either, just as a character, or should I say, lack thereof. So, and also Tom Cruise just kind of plays the same character in every single role. Like his character in The Mummy is the same um, as in Mission Impossible, as in whatever other movies he's in. So just to put that kind of bland cut and paste character onto an already kind of bland Hal Jordan, just in a way it feels right, but another way I would want them to try to do something different with this character I don't really care about to try to get me to care about him. And also, I'd much rather them focus the movie more around how around Jon Stewart anyway. So
Yeah. Hey, Idris Elba's dead in Marvel, so bring him over to
true.
DC. Hey.
I mean, I mean, apparently Idris Elba wants, or he either wants to play James Bond, or like or like the
Yeah.
studio is looking into him play James Bond or whatever. But like, which is it's kind of weird because he's like what 47, he would be the oldest James Bond at that point. But like, hey,
Still.
if that doesn't work for you,
Oh my god.
John Stewart's an older Green Lantern anyway, so just go for it.
Plus, I mean, he looks the part too, and he would own that. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Like, yeah, and I mean, Tom Cruise. Like, I do like Tom Cruise in that, especially the new Mission Impossible. If you haven't seen
I
it, I
haven't
would check
seen
that
anything
out.
past the fourth one,
Dude, it's pretty
so I've
intense.
heard. Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, I don't. Tom Cruise is a good actor. I just think he's past his prime, and I don't
Yeah.
think that's like you want to go with that for this.
Mm,
Like especially like Hal Jordan and Barry Allen are like supposed to be like really good friends. So I feel like a different kind of character. I almost feel
yeah.
like because like Hal Jordan kind of has that like cocky, almost douchebaggy kind of personality.
Mm,
So I feel like I hate to say this, but like like one of those like why I thought of that. I know like some people are like, oh, you should play Nightwing, but I don't know. That's one of the
I'm
people I
sorry, you
thought
got
about,
cut
and I
off
was
there. I
like,
didn't hear who you said.
say what?
You got cut off. I couldn't hear what you said.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. But no, what I was saying, I was like, he kind of, Jordan is kind of like that, like cocky, kind of almost douchebaggy kind of like character.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like you could get like a more of that kind of character. And I was thinking about characters like that, and like whenever I think of like people that always play that kind of person as a character,
Yeah.
I was thinking like Zac Efron.
Oh.
Because like ever since like High School Musical, he's always played that role of like because especially like
Yeah.
Neighbors and like Baywatch movie, he kind of
Yeah.
always plays that role now.
Huh.
So
You know,
I
I could actually see that. Like he he definitely does have the charisma. He's very cocky and whatnot. He surprisingly has the body for it. Like just yeah, surprisingly, I could easily see that working. Like him, I feel like a character like a character that Zac Efron would play would have pretty good rapport with the Flash. So like,
yeah,
it's what like in his mid 20s. So yeah, go for it. Why not?
he's like
It's better than
just
Tom
turned
Cruise in my
30,
opinion.
so I think he's not that old. He's not that old by any. But he looks young too, so he'll be fine. And
Yeah.
like I think it's definitely since our Flash Ezra Miller definitely has a young look too. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think they would work really well together. And like I can just see him like that scene in like the Justice League War thing where he's like. It's like Batman's real, like Batman's real. Like I can see him doing that whole scene where he just like takes the ring off his hand and stuff like that. Like I can see that in my head. So like I
Mm.
feel like he would be a good fit for
Oh, having an older like Ben Affleck Batman playing
that.
against a Zac Efron Green Lantern
That would
would be great.
like Green Lantern can't do anything. Apparently, except shut up and just like, just like I can see that. That would be. I think that'd be really a really
Hmm.
good casting for them if they did that. I think
Yeah.
so. So Zac
Also, like it's
Efron, if you're listening,
yeah,
which you're not, but still,
yeah.
talk to DC. I mean,
If anyone knows anyone who knows anyone who knows Zac Efron who's watching this, tell that person, so Zac Efron to play Green Lantern.
tell that person cousin. Yeah, basically, yeah, but like, yeah, I think that's a good. I think personally, I
Hmm.
think that'd be good because he has that fit.
Oh
I
yeah,
think as a character, he's played enough of those characters that he would work perfectly in that role.
yeah.
I think.
I could also see someone like a John Krasinski if you can't be a Fantastic Four. I could see him being
Yeah,
Hal Jordan or something like that.
yeah, do that too. I think that's one of the other ones that's been tossed around lately because especially with like he's kind of risen up in like movies ever since The Office ended. Now he's like because he had that 13 hours and then
Quiet
Quiet.
Place. He's in the Jack Reacher TV show.
The what now TV show?
Jack Reacher. Is that what it's called?
Oh, is he?
Jack Ryan.
Oh yeah. That is right. That
I think
is
Jack Reacher
right.
is another Tom
So
Cruise
yeah,
one.
He's definitely building his resume. So like, but I do want him to be Mr. Fantastic. I
Yeah,
will say.
yeah, I could see that
I
working
think that'd
very
be,
well.
I
I mean,
don't
Emily
know.
Blunt would be just perfect as Mr. and Miss Fantastic.
Even he like it was like somebody will say something stupid and he'll just look into the camera and just be like, I don't even care what it's about. I just want one time he does a Jim face in the
Oh
camera. I
yeah.
don't care what it is. I will lose it forever.
And like it'd be perfectly allowed in a Marvel movie. Like they're already pretty.
Do that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They would totally do that. They'd be
Hmm.
like, yes, the fans will love it. He'll just,
Hmm.
um, dude, I'd be so happy.
Just it would just be like really just like one glance, look back. Like it's not have to be like
Yeah,
you're like held on it. Just
it'll just be casual, but everyone will know
hmm
exactly what it's about because everyone's seen The Office. They'll just
just
like zoom in on his face. Oh yeah, yeah. But hopefully he played, dude.
yeah.
Please do that. Like
Just get.
I think just for that moment alone. I don't even care if
Hmm.
the movie's terrible. I this well, I do,
I mean, Fantastic Four, so it probably would be given their track record, but
but I mean, but if the MCU Fantastic Four
yeah,
will work,
true.
I think.
I'll have a feeling like I don't know. I just have this feeling that like even if they do make a Fantastic Four movie, it's I'm not entirely sure how exactly the Disney Fox merger, like how exactly they're distributing the franchises. So like they might still technically be under the Fox umbrella, which could mean this is gonna sound really weird, but like the Fox people under Disney would have more to say about that movie as opposed to Marvel's. Like it's this type of big company merger is very weird and confusing because I'm not entirely sure exactly how all the properties where they all went. So like I'm not exactly sure how a Fantastic Four movie under Disney or under Fox owned by Disney partnering with Marvel. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be the same with the X-Men too, and like, oh my gosh, why can't
I
we
mean,
just
I'm
put them
very
all
glad
in
with
the
about the
MCU?
prospect of them being in the MCU. I'm just until we actually see it, I'm just not. I'm not holding out hope for them to be actually amazing. Not holding
But
them out to
like,
be as Marvel caliber right out the gate at least.
I mean, maybe not, but like, I mean, all I'm saying is that if the MCU can turn the Guardians of the Galaxy, who no one knew even existed,
True.
into like, I mean, just imagine what they can do with the Fantastic Four or the X, like,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
and I mean, like, and I'm like, I know the universe would be like huge at that point, like ridiculously big,
Hmm.
but I mean, like, first of all, that's how it really is.
Yeah, that's how comics are. Even if you have to go to a different dimension, I'm okay with it.
Like it's fine. And also just like, I mean, just do stuff. Like we're go with it.
Hmm.
No one's gonna I mean, no one's gonna be mad that there's too many characters. Like, I mean, well, anyone who reads the comic book knows that's not even that
It's
many characters.
there's what like 20 some big name actors and or big name characters in Infinity War.
Something like that. Like,
Okay,
oh dude, that's
it
nothing.
was double that clashing on both sides of if Civil War in the comics. Like,
War comic had like so much going on that like, the movie almost looks lame. I mean, it doesn't, but it like you
it's
think about
yeah,
it
like
on
that scene
paper.
that like that kind of wide shot of like what 6 or 7 each team running at each other. Like that could be that entire screen could be filled up with like heroes and villains just running at each other.
There were like 40, 50 people just going at like, everybody's fighting everybody. Like, this is a straight up brawl.
It'd be a pain to choreograph that, but like it'd be worth it.
I think we get to the point where you're like, hey, are we on the same team? I honestly don't know. Like, it seems like that would happen. You're just like, dude, who are we fighting again? Maybe them? It's like, I just don't like you. I just
Mhm.
want an excuse to fight you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, like, I
Maybe
don't know. But
Civil
yeah,
War
if the
Part Two
MCU
will
gets
happen
bigger,
like
like, that's just
in a couple
better.
years. Because doesn't Civil War with Ironheart and Captain Marvel a thing?
Yeah, is it's like that, and like, I mean, it's so much more because everyone picks the side, and you've got everybody in on it,
Hmm.
and it's just I actually lost track who was on whose side.
Yeah.
I was,
Hmm.
I needed like a tally. Like,
Uh-huh.
okay, who's fighting for what again, and why? I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just really, I don't know, like the MCU. It just,
It's
I
kind
don't
of
know, adding
peanuts
more
compared
characters
to
just
the
works.
actual
But
comics.
where were we, what were we even originally talking
Oh,
about? I
Hal
don't even
Jordan,
remember.
and then
Mhm.
John Krasinski vaults with playing him, and then Fantastic Four.
Oh, right, how did we get from
It's
Tom
fine.
Cruise?
I'm not complaining.
That's great. But yeah, I mean, as far I personally, yeah, Zac Efron is greater than Tom Cruise for this role, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, like
But
Tom Cruise somewhat looks the part, I guess, but just as far as him as an actor and personality wise, I just don't see it. I just don't see it working.
I feel like if this was like in the '90s, this would be
Yeah.
better. But like now, Tom Cruise now is kind of
Hmm.
like, I mean, I don't not washed out because he's still an excellent actor, but he's just older.
Yeah. Apparently, he was supposed to play Iron Man at first, but
Ooh.
then things changed, and now Robert Downey Jr. Thank goodness is playing him, and now Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr. So that was then we won that.
You know what's really crazy?
What?
I was watching the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, and
Yeah.
there's a couple episodes with Tony Stark in it, and the
Yep.
dude looks just like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Yes.
Like before he, I was like, what?
How
Like,
did you do that?
it was ridiculous, dude. I was like, how did they know like
Mm.
14? They knew like 14 years in the past. Okay, someone who looks like this is gonna play Iron Man, and then Robert Downey Jr. just like, because I mean, they even got the mustache and everything. Dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. So, moving on to the more WB stuff. Black Mask was apparently going to be the villain of the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
Do you care enough to continue talking about this movie?
What else is there to say? I mean, like, don't like Black Mask is a cool villain, but I mean,
Yeah, he is. But like, okay. I mean, I'm still that still doesn't make me excited for the Birds of Prey movie with no Batgirl in it.
yeah, not that having Batgirl would have made me like that much more interested in the first place, but I mean, like, I don't know. Especially when we have like none. Well, first of all, we have none of the characters established in this universe.
Hmm.
And when is
Outside of
this
Harley
role supposed
Quinn.
to be coming out?
20 either late 2019 or early 2020 because it's starting filming in this upcoming January.
Gosh, so they're already filming. Okay, okay, so we have no idea who's playing anyone, but they're
Yeah.
already filming, and I'm just like, all right,
I
that's
mean, they
cool.
have like 4 or 5 months to figure all that stuff out. We'll know before
No, but
then.
I don't know. I just like personally, I like knowing where stuff is going.
Yeah.
Personally, like I know not everything's always known, but like I feel like they're just gonna start writing it, and then director drops out, another director drops out,
Mm,
actress drops out, movie dies. Like this
yeah.
has been happening.
Yeah. Like this is one of those movies that you, in my opinion, you're only allowed to make after like 6 other successful movies. Specifically, at least one of like most of the Birds of Prey are in most of those movies. Like you already have an established Batgirl in the Batman movie. You have Harley Quinn, and you have Poison Ivy or whoever else is or Huntress, Black Canary. You have all
Man,
the other.
we don't even have Robin,
Yeah,
and we're have Huntress. Like
yeah,
that's a big stretch, man.
mm,
Like
yeah,
oh my gosh, we don't know Black Canary or Green Arrow. I mean, what do they're just making? They're making all the obscure movies for some reason, and I'm like, why aren't you just focusing on your big characters first?
I don't know
Because
because
no one
because
care about these little characters.
the only part about Suicide Squad people actually seem to like for some reason is Harley Quinn. So they're like, we're gonna give her own movie, but instead of giving her own movie, we're gonna shoehorn her into the Birds of Prey, which she is never a part of, and just kind of go from there.
Also, the Birds of Prey are good guys. How's that
Yeah,
work?
like Huntress, I guess, is technically an anti-hero. Or Vigil.
How?
No, you're right. She's a vigilante. Black
Okay,
Canary is
well,
definitely
no,
a
I
good
mean,
guy.
okay,
Batgirl is
but
definitely
here's
a
the
good
thing.
person. Like,
Okay,
uh,
here's the thing.
yeah,
Harley Quinn is not ever anything except a psychotic criminal.
you're right.
That's
The movie,
like a she goes acid, like she's gone. She's crazy. She's killing people. She's needs to be in a cage.
The only reason she works with other people is because she has a bomb in her neck and she has to. She would not willingly work with Huntress and Batgirl and other, especially
You're
Batgirl.
crazy.
Like, why would that
It's
happen?
just, like, I mean, the Harley Quinn is straight up like one of the worst criminals in the world in
Mm-hmm.
this universe, and then Huntress is like, on the fence,
Yeah,
and and Black Canary and Batgirl obviously are, they're heroes, but it's like how is I just don't see how the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn's connected to that in any way.
I don't know. And like, apparently, some of the plot will be also be focused around Cassandra Cain. So there might be a Batgirl in it, but as far as we know, Barbara Gordon will not be in it. From what I can tell so far, like
We're doing Cassandra Cain back. That's I
that's
do. I like that they want to do that character because that character has like no representation other than comics.
yeah,
How Because
I
most people don't even know
wonder.
that's a character. However, why now?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that is like, don't get like that's like before Damien got super popular all of a sudden.
Mm,
Like that was the one character everyone's like, dude, no one talks about Cassandra Cain. And
yeah.
like, yeah, but I mean, she doesn't talk about herself either. But I'm dumb, I know.
It kind of
But I
feels
mean,
like we're gonna be introduced to like the second Batgirl after Batgirl gets her own movie, or she's introduced in another Batman movie. Like
like she's got
that
like
doesn't
she's
compute.
way out there, like
Yeah, like
ways before
Batman's
you
like
get.
I mean I know is usually like in his 40s by the time we get to Cassandra Cain, but like and Batman is in his 40s now, but there's no evidence that that Batgirl slash Oracle exists or Nightwing for that matter. So who knows? Who
Uh,
knows?
by the time you get a Cassandra Cain, you got to go through three Robins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically four if you count Stephanie.
Yeah,
So I like you've got a ways to go before you get there. You can't just throw characters in there.
yeah. Ugh. Oh well. So
Universe,
maybe
dude.
Birds
I
of Prey
can't.
will actually be surprising. Probably not,
No,
but
I doubt
maybe it won't. It won't be. I don't have any faith. We know.
it. Movie, like who knows?
One movie or I guess TV show by DC that I'm actually not interested in, but I am, I'm gonna be kind of looking at it a little more optimistically. Apparently, there's gonna be a Batwoman CW TV show that was announced at Comic Con, and they got Ruby Rose, who is from Orange Is the New Black, and she's the mute assassin from John Wick 2 to play Batwoman. So, yeah.
I think. Well, okay, I'll admit the casting's pretty solid. I will say.
Hmm.
At least, I mean, from what I know about Ruby Rose, I haven't seen like all of Orange Is the New Black or anything like that. But
Mm.
I mean, as far as a Batwoman will go, I guess Orange is the New Black
As
kind of
far as
fits
looks
because
goes,
Batwoman is
like,
a lesbian. But
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, good point. Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. Like, I have no idea what this show is gonna
Yeah.
be like, other than that. Okay, first of all, here's the thing:
Yeah.
if there's gonna be no Batman,
Why
we
does
have
that
no
woman
idea
exist? I have no
who's
idea.
gonna be. That's what I'm saying. No idea what merit like come from. Like, it's gonna be kind of cool seeing a Bat person, but I feel like it's still gonna be kind of messed up.
It's Batwoman, which canonically she only is Batwoman because she's inspired by Batman to be Batwoman. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It kind of has the same issue that Venom does, where
Yeah,
like you're only Venom, you're only Venom because Spider-Man exists. But if
right.
Spider-Man doesn't exist, how are you how you are? It's just it's just a little weird. Like, and I have
Who
a
looks
feeling
the
they're gonna
same
do a
too?
lot of they're gonna try to like repurpose a lot of Batman lore into Batman stuff just so they or Batwoman stuff just so they can have Bat things happening in the CW universe. But
I mean, the
I
thing
don't
is, they
I
kind
don't
of
know.
already did that with Arrow, which is why I'm kind
Yeah.
of sad that they're doing. Because, like, for especially at the beginning, Arrow was basically Batman.
Mm.
because I mean, with the whole racial, I mean, they had Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins.
Deathstroke.
They had Deathshot, they had Deathstroke. I mean, it was basically Batman,
Yeah.
just not. So I mean,
Mm.
now that they're adding a Bat character, I'm kind of like,
See,
why?
yeah, I don't know. But I mean, the thing is, every single CW show, the first season or two is always pretty solid.
This is
So more
true.
often than not, we're gonna get the Batwoman TV show. We're gonna watch the first season, like, hey, this is actually pretty good. Second season, it wasn't as good as the first, but still pretty decent, and then just kind of stop caring after that. But maybe it'll make a decent first impression. That's really all I'm hoping for. So if you hit
I
that low bar,
yeah,
you'll you'll
but
pass, in my opinion.
I hope they don't Supergirl it though, because you know how Supergirl's all about, yeah, women. So like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for women empowerment. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but like, it kind of that's the very hit over the head message with
yeah,
Super. And I feel
and
like they might try to do the same thing with one Bad Girl. Plus, she's an LGBT character, so
yeah,
like they're trying to really do
which, like,
that
the
with it.
CW is no stranger to those concepts, like White Canary, but since Batwoman is the star of her own show, like, and like, I have no problem with representation of any kind in TV shows or movies, but like, I do kind of get the feeling that they might kind of push it just a little too far for most people's liking. And like I said, I have no problem with representation, but like, if that is what defines your show, movie, character, whatever, I have a problem with that. I'd rather you make a good movie that has representation than have the representation define your movie or show or whatever.
It shouldn't be a show about just women that also happens to be Supergirl in it. Or it should be Supergirl that also happens to be women are strong.
Yeah.
Kind of like Wonder Woman. It's not about empowerment for women.
Mm.
Black Panther is not about empowerment for Black people. So, but it's also in it. But that's not the only point of the
Yeah,
movie.
it's a good movie and it has these things.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, if you have a good show and you share that message, that's great. That's honestly what you want out of a show. But if
Yeah.
you're just trying to put this message by sacrificing your show, it's not doing it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully at least the first season of Batwoman will be decent, especially if they do repurpose a lot of what Batman stuff they have left that Arrow hasn't stolen yet, and put it in there. So, yeah, it'll at least be on my radar for now. Something that I don't plan on watching at all is the Doom Patrol show. Apparently, Cyborg is going to be in it, which I just assumed, oh, Cyborg will take the place of that Robot Man, which I didn't realize his name was actually Robot Man, who will be played by Brendan Fraser. So we'll have both Cyborg and Robot Man in the same show. Why is Cyborg here?
Why is he
Why are
not
you
with the
not in the
Titans?
Titans? There's a show right next door that you belong in.
I still think they're in the wrong for putting him with the Justice League in the first place. But now you put him
Yeah.
with the Doom Patrol.
He was never like it'd be fine if if Beast Boy was in the Doom Patrol because that's actually canonical. But Cyborg, we already have the Robot Man. Like you don't need another robot person there. You've
I don't.
never been anywhere near associated with the Doom Patrol outside of the couple of crossovers you've had. Like,
I
why?
don't. And the thing is, it's not just that they did it wrong. It's also like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the Doom Patrol has great comics. I've never read them,
Nope.
mainly because it's the Doom Patrol. Like, who has? But
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully the CW or hopefully the DC Universe app will change that if they actually put those comics on there. But
yeah.
yeah, go on.
Up to this point, I mean, there are nerds that don't even know who the Doom Patrol
Yeah.
is. So, I mean, can you name all the Doom Patrol members? Because I can't.
I just found out yesterday that Robot Man is that Robot Man's name, so no.
Like, come on, man. The Doom Patrol? Like, and then And the thing is, it's also, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's like literally they're making a Titan show and there's no cyborg, which
Hmm.
makes no sense.
Yeah,
I, I just don't, I hate it when the creators of stuff don't know where characters go.
yeah,
Like, it's not like there's not anywhere else to put them. It's just they just put them in the wrong spot.
yeah.
Because I'm like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, like, or they just put character, like, it's just, I don't know, it just annoys me. Because I mean, like, Titans with, like, I'm not saying I would, like, I'm like super excited for Titans with cyborgs in it. Like, honestly, I don't care regardless. But it's like, if you were gonna put them somewhere, it's like, it's like you already know you're gonna mess up, but you spell your name wrong on a test too.
Uh,
Like,
yeah.
you're just asking for failure at this point. Like, what are you doing? You're just doing it wrong. You didn't study, but at least put your name on. No, no, I'm just
Get
gonna
your name
I'm
right.
gonna mess it up too. Like
Hmm.
nothing about this is gonna be set up right. So I'm just going downhill
I,
from here. But
yeah, I don't. We'll see if I actually end
really,
up getting this app and actually end up watching this show. Hopefully, they'll just put it all up on. They'll put the whole show up on, the app at one time like Netflix does, so I'll be able to binge it and then, uh, you know, give my
take
thoughts on it from there. But like, I don't know.
on it, dude. Honestly, man, like Doom Patrol. What? No, man.
Like
Like
Swamp Thing is one thing. I actually kind of like Swamp Thing.
I
No
mean,
one
that's
knows or cares
okay.
about Doom Patrol.
Like, dude. I mean, I forgot they existed. I really
Yeah.
did. Like, if it wasn't for that one episode in Teen Titans where they go with the Doom Patrol and Beast Boy, I would not know who the Doom Patrol would be. Pretty
Yeah, they
much.
were they were honestly kind of the reason why season 5 was kind of meh. So I'm not looking forward to a whole show based around them.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I mean they're basic. I mean they're basically like a sadder version of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they don't actually right down to the color scheme. Yeah, aren't they also like kind of uh, blue? No, they're purple.
I mean, but it's the same
Yeah,
concept. They all have
purple
the
and white
matching
instead
costumes, but
of
then their
blue
powers
and
like
white. Yeah,
like it's pretty much the same thing,
yeah,
but just worse. And that's
mm,
saying a bit because Fantastic Four, at least movie wise, have been so.
yeah. So again, maybe again if they upload it all on one day, so I can just binge it. That way, if the first episode's kind of bad, I can still be like, you know what, it's all right here. I'm just gonna watch it. But if they upload it like once a week, I'll stop caring after a while. So like,
Not worth it.
if they upload it all in one day, I binge it and like it's not awful, you'll get points in my book as long as you're not awful. So just why
Uh,
Cyborg there, I'll never understand that, but whatever.
the only way, honestly, I'm watching either of these shows is if I hear multiple reviews saying it's great, and I
Yeah,
mean from reliable sources, not from
yeah.
like Warner Brothers themselves.
Hmm.
Dude, it's awesome. It's yours. Of course, you think it's awesome. Like,
uh, yeah. So enough DC talk. Let's see what Disney is up to now. So, Spider Man Far From Home is a movie that's coming out next year. And there's a couple of, I'm not going to say rumors because one of them was actually somewhat confirmed. Apparently, Nick Fury and Maria Hill's actor were seen on the set of Spider Man Far From Home, basically confirming that they're going to be in this movie, which you know, considering, I mean, spoilers, both of them died at the end of Infinity War, but I mean, obviously they're going to come back. So
if
I just,
Spider Man's coming back, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, good point, good point. But still, I don't know why Nick Fury hasn't been in more Marvel movies. Like, I think the only standalone ones he's been in have been Iron Man 2, Winter Soldier, Avengers 1 and 2. But even then, not really. He wasn't really like that present in Avengers 2.
well, he's
So
supposed to be dead, so I mean, he's not trying to make too many
yeah,
appearances,
true.
right?
Yeah, but I just like the fact that he's, especially since I don't think Spider Man has really interacted with him at all. It's gonna be interesting seeing him actually interacting with Nick Fury for once.
You just see him be like, "Oh yes, sir, Mister Sir, sir, Mister Captain, sir." He's gonna say some dumb pirate joke. I'm gonna
Uh,
tell you right now. There's gonna be
yes,
one dumb, there's gonna be
yes.
one Pirates of the Caribbean reference. Like I'm calling it right
I
now.
mean
I don't know
Disney,
what
so
it's
why
gonna
not?
be, but it's gonna be great.
uh,
Oh, I can see it right now.
Speaking of things associated with water, I guess yeah, that's my segue. So in I think it was either Instagram or Snapchat live feed from Tom Holland because he does this. He was just talking to his to his audience about how cool it is to be on set, and then in the background, apparently he didn't know that a a scene was being rehearsed in the background. So his stunt double just randomly got blasted by a bunch of water, heavily implying that Hydro Man will probably be in this movie, hinting more of the fact that a Sinister Six will more or less be forming during this movie, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, and that's pretty awesome because it's well, first of all, the Sinister Six is a really good. I mean, that's a good story arc in Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the cartoon, the comics,
Yeah.
Ethan hopefully this movie, like it's gonna be good. And like, I mean, that was kind of the. I mean, that's kind of the thing you got from the after credit scenes of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, you got Scorpion or whatever, supposedly. So like,
Yeah.
you know, one goes down, and then they all try to get on them
Yeah.
together. So I think that's. I don't know who the six are gonna be. Like, it could be different in this movie
We already
depending. But
have
I
Jake
mean,
Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio, apparently Hydro Man, Vulture,
yeah,
Scorpion. I don't think any others have been hinted at, but I'm going to assume
probably
either
Rhino.
Electro or Doctor Octopus or probably not Sandman.
Nah,
Uh,
Sandman's been over. I mean, I think ever since Spider, I think they're gonna try to stay away from like the Spider-Man three villains just
yeah,
because it's been kind of done.
yeah. Green Goblin, maybe or
I,
Hobgoblin.
Green Goblin's more of a loner. He's not really a Sinister Six kind of guy.
You're right. I thought
Maybe
I thought at least the
Hobgoblin, but
Hobgoblin
like not Green
would.
Goblin.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I love
But
Hobgoblin.
one thing that's kind of interesting is that since Spider-Man: Far From Home takes place, I think during a field trip around Europe, I could kind of see this movie working like, as they're traveling to France, England, Germany, wherever. Spider-Man is doing things like stopping bad guys here and there, and getting attention from villains who maybe were underground or like just doing things in these other countries
Mhm.
that because the Sokovia Accords, people of the Avengers weren't able to go and stop. Now that Spider-Man's just kind of there, just kind of doing his thing. He's getting their attention, and throughout the movie, like more and more villains are kind of like realizing, hey, this Spider-Man dude he's getting really annoying. Let's all team up and stop him. I could easily see that working.
I get like kind of all like come together like, all right, guys, we gotta take this guy down. Here it's like, oh, we need a plan, and someone's like, I got the plan, and then boom, or like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, basically that's pretty much like, I think that's how it'll go down. I think it'll be good. The only thing is though, it's gonna be kind of obvious that like, wow, Spider-Man just happened to be, in Europe while we're in Europe. What's up with that? Like, I think that's
Eh,
gonna like, I'm pretty sure some people are gonna
Mary
tell
Jane's
me
gonna
where
at
they
least
think
find out.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be. Say what?
MJ is gonna find out for sure in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, that's fine.
Yeah,
But I don't care. But it's just like I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be the only one though,
yeah. No
and
one else is gonna
that's
like
gonna
care.
that's just gonna, yeah. It's gonna. And she's like, you're Spider Man. Yeah, dude. I don't actually like. She's gonna say like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't care. And it's like everyone laugh. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I care. But no, it's like I feel like it's gonna be annoying to me because she's probably gonna be the only one that gets it.
Mm-hmm. Which like that, I mean, same philosophy as Superman. Like everyone should know who he is
True. She
because,
doesn't
but
ask.
especially with Spider-Man's case, like he'd only be in so many places, and like Peter Parker basically, Spider-Man can only be where Peter Parker is. So like it's kind of a thing where like, oh, you should. Same with Batman. Like you should probably know who it is, but like,
I mean,
yeah.
Batman's a little hard. I don't know. It just depends. But yeah, I mean, it's the same concept with all superheroes, I guess. But
Yeah. So one last Disney news. Apparently, no future Disney movies after Ant-Man the Wasp will come to Netflix, which is a little sad because that means we won't be able to get the entire Star Wars third trilogy on Netflix. But
Or,
eh, it makes sense since the Disney streaming service app is coming out. I think early next year. Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
sometime next year. So like that, that makes sense.
yeah. That's just smart. They're just like, all right, hey, like, and that's good that they're not taking everything off Netflix either yet. Like
Mm,
they
yeah,
probably will once the service is like ready to go, but like
yeah,
they're just like, all right, we're just gonna chill for a little bit, get everything on their thing ready, and then drop the streaming service and have everything and
yeah.
like.
All the Fox, all the Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, Pixar, etc. Like they'll be
It's
fine
lit.
without Ant Man and the Wasp. Who needs it?
It's like, I mean, don't, it's like they've got everything you need.
Hmm.
Especially Disney's so huge now. You had literally just spent hours in just Star Wars, let
Yeah,
alone, you know, Star Wars and every Disney movie and every Pixar movie and every Marvel movie and,
yeah.
Fox owned Marvel stuff and, the list goes on.
Hmm.
Like,
But yeah, they'll be fine. If anything, Netflix is the one you should kind of consider stepping up their game a little bit, considering the majority of the Netflix only movies are kind of bad, especially the anime adaptations they need to stop doing.
Yeah, those are kind of sad. I mean, personally, I feel like the only reason Netflix is still like Netflix is because of The Office.
Office, Parks and Rec, Arrested Development, like these staple
No,
shows that people keep coming back to.
yeah,
Like if they take off Office, over half their user base jumps ship. Just why even
um,
bother at that point?
immediately. And I mean, like, I don't know, like, I don't understand how people rewatch stuff, but they do, man. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Oh well. But yeah, hopefully Netflix can get their act together and like actually make some good. Hopefully, Bright Two will actually be not trash like the first one was.
well,
But
are they actually doing that?
yeah, Bright Two is happening.
Oh,
Same director, same
Will,
actors, everything. I don't know why,
now,
because
Will,
Bright One was literally one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But like, because it's on Netflix, everyone just watched it first day. It's like without reading reviews first, it made enough money to get a sequel. Which is dumb, but whatever.
no. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh well. Time for a little bit of fun. It's time for Nerd Clash, the not at all ripoff of Death Battle or Nerd Fight, where we pit two characters from nerd culture together and see who would win a fight. Today's contenders will be Winter Soldier versus the Red Hood.
Hmm.
Now, this was one that I see a lot of people trying to put Winter Soldier up against Nightwing, and like I can kind of understand that since they're both their respective main Justice League Avenger sidekick. But I feel like Winter Soldier and Red Hood have more in common, considering they were both thought to be dead. They're both enhanced in whatever ways. They both wear a mask. They both are at least anti-heroes at one point. So like I
Guns.
feel these two are it's more of an even match between these two as opposed to Nightwing versus like
Yeah.
Nightwing. I don't think would stand much of a chance against Winter Soldier in my opinion. Like at least not to the extent that Red Hood would.
I mean, oh yeah, okay. So, like, are you saying that neither of them would stand a chance against Winter Soldier?
No, Red Hood. I feel is equal to him. So they're both because apparently at one point Red Hood like no Supergirl like grabbed Red Hood's arm and Red Hood just like ripped it off and like she was like oh no one's ever done that before like so he's at least strong enough to I'm sure Supergirl wasn't like at her strongest when he was doing that but like he's strong
But
enough to at
she
least
is.
impress Supergirl so like he has that going for him.
Like, see, okay, my thing is like, I mean, that goes back to the whole like some comic powers are BS. Like,
Yeah,
what? Like,
true.
I like, like the whole like it goes back to the whole like Superboy punching reality thing. Like
Yeah.
that, like she's like it's Supergirl. Like there's a way you should be able to like just casually get out of her grip,
Hmm.
you know. But I mean, I don't know. But I mean, besides that, in terms of the actual fights,
Also, they
it
both
was,
use a bunch of guns and grenade launchers and stuff. So, like, far as the arsenal they would use to fight, it would be more on even ground as opposed to
yeah,
something like a
I mean, you
Nightwing who
are
just
right.
uses.
There are a lot more similar than Nightwing would be in terms of pretty much everything. Plus, like, I mean, they go against their, protagonist at one point or another.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty similar now that you're thinking that you say it out loud. But I don't know though. I feel like although Winter Soldier has the advantage in terms of abilities, definitely Red Hood has the advantage in terms of like stealth and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like,
But then Winter Soldier,
here's a metal
I don't
arm that could. Then again, Red Hood could probably exploit that. He's trained by Batman, so like
like
It's. I
a
mean,
lot.
this fight has been done many times between Batman and Captain America. Like, it's pretty obvious that Batman wins that fight. So, like, theoretically speaking, it would make sense to take that and be like, oh, Red Hood against Winter Soldier. Red Hood might win just because he had the better trainer, but still, this the super serum that Winter Soldier had, I think, is also crossed with some is like a more advanced version that is in some ways actually stronger than Captain America. So like it all just I don't know enough about Winter Soldier to really judge.
Yeah,
I
plus he's
guess
got that arm too. That thing
yeah,
is
that arm
really
is could be a game changer if Red Hood isn't able to manipulate it. I think is it made of vibranium?
yeah,
It is okay. Then yeah, I don't think that can really be like, just regular
manipulated. Or
magnets.
at
I don't
least
think
he
that
doesn't.
can.
I mean, because he doesn't even know what vibranium is. Like it's like
Yeah,
so. I mean, then again, I don't know. I think it just depends on how well Red Hood can adapt to the Winter Soldier.
yeah.
Because he tries to take him out like a regular person, or even like a super. Like he's got to do something. He's got to do it totally. Like he's got to do this completely like with like stealth and precision because he can't go right at him. He's gonna get
Mm,
wrecked.
yeah. Which that's which like that is very much Winter Soldier's style, like getting up close and like a bunch of melee. Whereas Red Hood, since he was trained under Batman, I feel he might, and of course Red Hood's a bit more aggressive than Batman is. He might try to be more close hand to hand combat, but like I have a feeling Red Hood would win that just because he's more aggressive and probably stronger. If Red Hood could adapt correctly and like use his arsenal better to his advantage, like maybe disable the arm somehow and like
No.
I don't know that.
Like blow it off or something. If he like, like got behind him, attached like a rocket to the arm or something, or like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, do something. I don't think he could, because I think like if he could sneak up on Winter Soldier, then again, it's not easy to sneak up on the Winter Soldier. But
Mm,
man, you're trained by Batman.
yeah.
That's on everybody.
mm. Plus, I'm pretty sure Red Hood just has more weapons at his disposal than Winter Soldier does. Like, if you saw the fight, remember the fight in Batman Under the Red Hood, like he referred to him and Batman as just a walking arsenal. Like he was like pulling knives, grenades, just stuff out of everywhere, and like I'm
His
just not
helmet
sure
was a
the
bomb.
sheer
Like it was
amount of
crazy.
stuff he has. Winter Soldier really has anything to counter all of it.
Yeah, I mean, there was crap. Like everything he had was a bomb. His helmet was a bomb, which I was like, dude, why would you walk around with that? But you
Yeah, it's for
actually
safety.
flip it off. But like, dude, it was. I mean, it was crazy.
Mm,
Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Red Hood, especially with how skilled he is and how people fight, I feel
yeah,
like he has the advantage.
I guess. I guess the easiest way to look at this would be assume Red Hood is currently like mind controlled to kill Red Hood. I feel like that would be the easiest way to get him at his fullest potential, if that makes sense.
It's like his next mission or whatever. He's in
Yeah.
full like Winter Soldier mode.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think. Yeah, but still, I don't know.
It all just comes back to who their trainer was. Like, uh, Winter Soldier fought with Captain America in World War One, but Red Hood was specifically trained by Batman
Yeah.
and learned everything he ever knows from Batman. So it's I don't know.
Just I'm gonna give it to Red Hood slightly just because of the stealth aspect, and I
Mhm.
think he can use that to his advantage eventually.
Yeah, and like especially if we are taking that taking the Red Hood, like doing what he did to Supergirl into account,
Yeah.
that might imply that he actually is as strong as Winter Soldier is. So like, yeah, if that is the case, I feel he would have a slight edge over Winter Soldier. So yeah, okay, cool. Red Hood won that clash. Nice. Are there any last minute things you want to add to any of the discussions today?
Um, I don't think so. No, not that I can think of.
Okay. So, with that, we will see you all next time.